Angel Reese, she continued her long-standing tradition last night of not selling out home games.
Did you see what just unfolded with Angel Reese? She finally secured her first WNBA victory in a head-to-head clash with Paige Bueckers, another rising talent that many argue should be the league's main attraction instead of Caitlin Clark. With two of the most followed names in women's basketball sharing the court, you'd expect a packed arena and intense energy, but that didn't happen. The turnout was underwhelming. Ticket prices dropped to $20, and only 41 were sold. In the final hour before the game, despite the social media buzz, the atmosphere was flat. It leaves you wondering, where are the fans? The gap between online hype and actual support is becoming more obvious by the day.
Fans. Paige Bueckers is coming to town. Shout out to Santa Claus. Paige Bueckers is, you guys get it. And in their first matchup, they draw a whopping 9,025 people. Where are you guys at? Where are you guys? Where are the Paige Bueckers supporters? Where are the WNBA supporters? Where are the Reese's Pieces? Where are you guys at?
At the same time, ESPN continues promoting Angel Reese as the face of the league, largely because of her social media followers. But when it comes to selling tickets and gaining national interest, it's getting tougher to ignore the fact that Caitlin Clark is the true driving force behind the WNBA's rising momentum.
Ooh. Who has the most TikTok followers? Ooh. Who has the most Twitter followers? Ooh. Who has the most Instagram? Who has the most this? Who has the most that? Who has the most viewership? Who has the most attendance? Who has the biggest impact on the game? We all know the answer to that question.
All right, let's dive into this game, because what happened is going to absolutely blow your mind.
I mean, after all, this is the #1 most followed WNBA player on Instagram, followed by the #3 most followed WNBA player on Instagram. And last night, they were in the Wintrust Center, the Wintrust Arena, which holds a capacity of 10.
Angel Reese entered this matchup with big expectations. Her showdown against the Dallas Wings was hyped as a major event. The game took place at Wintrust Arena, which holds around 10,000 spectators. But here's the odd part. It didn't come close to selling out.
Gonna put on a show. So when you see Angel Reese and Paige Bueckers locking horns for the first time in the WNBA, you would expect a sellout.
Yes, you heard that correctly. One of the most talked about games of the year featured Angel Reese, who has a massive fan base, playing on her home court. On the opposite side was Paige Bueckers, another fast-rising star with a huge following. Yet somehow, a matchup that should have drawn thousands still left the stands looking noticeably empty.
Yes, this was a traumatic experience, but I was also confused as to why this game was being played at Wintrust Arena. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Paige Bueckers is a big star, right? According to the mainstream media.
Even though attendance was reported at 9,000, people are beginning to question if that number is even accurate. Why? Because throughout the entire broadcast, not once did the cameras show the full crowd. Suspicious, right? And keep in mind, this wasn't some giant stadium. Wintrust Arena is actually one of the smallest venues in the state.
Now, according to the media, these are two of the biggest stars in the dump, but for some reason, this high-profile matchup was not moved to the United Center, which I believe is the largest arena in the NBA. With an event of this magnitude, you would think the WNBA would take advantage and move it to an arena that could accommodate an actual crowd. But for some reason, the diva of Dump Divas, Kat Engelberg, she decided to keep the game at Wintrust Arena.
Now let's talk about ticket sales, because what you're about to hear is just unbelievable.
Oh boy, listen to this.
30 minutes before tip-off last night, I checked StubHub to see how many tickets were available. As I pulled up the game, I was greeted by a nice message. Hey there, Angel Reese fan! I see you're interested in tickets. You better hurry. These tickets are hot, hot, hot. We have sold 41 tickets in the past hour. Get them while you can.
8 tickets were priced as low as $20. Yet fans weren't exactly in a hurry to grab them. Only 41 tickets, that's right, 41, were sold in the final hour before the game started. For a matchup featuring two of the league's biggest names, that's downright embarrassing.
Nearly 1,000 tickets didn't get sold for this game. The #1 most followed WNBA player? Paige Becker is the most hyped WNBA player since last year? Very interesting how that works out.
This paints a sharp contrast to the hype built around stars like Reese and Björkers. Sure, their social media numbers are massive. Reese leads the league in followers, and Björkers isn't far behind. But here's the harsh truth. Instagram likes and TikTok views aren't turning into real fans in seats. A so-called sellout never happened, and when fans at the game whisper about how empty it really looks, something's clearly off.
Reebok, shout out to Reebok, they go all out for your girl. Reebok already, we're gonna make this Angel Reese's signature logo. They already have a couple PEs ready to go. They have her clothing line. Reebok's behind your girl. Reebok's pushing your girl out there. But how come it's not translating into attendance?
There's a definite gap between perception and reality. Angel Reese's online numbers are impressive, and the WNBA uses things like her Reebok deal to showcase growth. But where's the actual turnout? If she's such a top-tier attraction, why was the arena half empty? The game felt low budget on TV, and for an event that was billed as a must-watch, it lacked any real spark.
Tip-off. Now, as you can see right here, the purple areas, these are the areas where tickets were still available. 30 minutes before the game, damn near the entire arena was up for sale. For less than $20, you could see these two legends in their own minds compete for the first time in the WNBA dunk.
Caitlin Clark is constantly being compared to Reese in these debates, and whether people like it or not, her absence is being felt across the board. Games without Clark simply don't attract the same TV viewership or ticket sales. The WNBA may keep highlighting Reese's fame, but let's be honest, Clark is the one truly capturing national attention.
Recognition doesn't always equate to ratings. Social media followers don't equate to attendance ratings. The Chicago Bravado, they have had 2 home games this year. 2 home games against what the media would call high-profile teams, the New York Equality and the Dallas Wankers. And neither game was a sellout. Matter of fact, both games had the exact same attendance number, 9,025. What are the odds of that? What are the odds that 2 back-to-back games have the exact same attendance number?
Let's just call it what it is. Something isn't right with the way these ticket numbers are being reported. Maybe they're inflating the stats just to boost Angel Reese's image. Caitlin Clark's injury hasn't just disappointed fans. It's become a serious issue for the whole WNBA. Look around. Attendance is dropping, fewer people are watching, and games are missing that spark Clark consistently brought. It's not just Reese or Björkers playing to half-empty stands. The entire league feels off without Clark's presence fueling excitement. Her absence is forcing the WNBA to face a tough truth. They've put too much weight on a single star to keep things going.
The ratings came out for the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark game. I saw some people actually trying to spin this as a positive, and I was like, they're light 235,000 viewers. How is that a positive?
To put it plainly, Caitlin Clark is a game changer. When she's playing, every moment feels significant. Look at the Fever versus Mystics game. Clark was on the court, and the broadcast drew 581,000 viewers. But in her absence, the same matchup barely reached 357,000. That's a staggering drop. Even casual fans who don't usually follow the league tune in just to watch her. She's one of those rare players who makes every game feel like a major event. Just compare that to the Liberty versus Fever clash, one of the most watched games in years. Clark was playing, and the broadcast peaked at 3.24 million viewers.
And we know now if Caitlin Clark plays on Ion, it's a 1 million viewer game.
Those numbers aren't just impressive, they're transformative for the WNBA. They show what can happen when you have a player who inspires fans, connects across all demographics, and gives people a reason to care. In contrast, games without her, like Sun vs. Lynx or Storm vs. Mercury, struggle to hit average numbers. Sun vs. Lynx drew 431,000 viewers, while Storm vs. Mercury managed only 344,000. Those may be possible for smaller markets, but for a league trying to expand its reach, there's simply not enough to create lasting momentum.
Was back on and play was happening. In fact, they showed back up, a play happened and there was a foul. And we showed back up as they were readjusting themselves from a foul happening. So I don't know how much we actually missed, but you cannot have that if this league hopes to grow. You can't have productions coming back late to these games. Amazon Prime.
The reality is this. Clark isn't just an elite athlete, she's a magnet for attention. She gets people talking, even those who don't usually watch the WNBA. Think about how the NBA used to revolve around Jordan, Magic, and Kobe, stars who could draw in casual fans. That's exactly what Clark is doing for the WNBA. The problem is when she's not on the floor, no one else matches her energy. Even her own team struggles to grab headlines without her. Across the board, attendance dips and the excitement fades. It's not just who's in the seats, it's the whole atmosphere. There's less noise, less buzz, and fewer reasons for fans to buy a ticket or turn on the TV. And this isn't just guesswork. The stats make it painfully obvious. The league's numbers dip significantly when Clark isn't involved.
In my opinion, the WNBA still has a major problem with the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark still looking like the only draw. In my opinion, these ratings are pathetic, and the leagues to change the rules to make the game more enjoyable.
So what's the next move? That's the tough part. The WNBA can't just wait around for Clark to heal and assume everything will fix itself. The deeper issue is that the league has put nearly all its momentum behind one player, and that's a risky strategy. If the EIT, Fever, or the WNBA as a whole struggle without her, it's the casual fans who'll vanish first. And those are the viewers the league needs most right now. The diehards will stay loyal, sure, but it's the casual audience that drives rating spikes and puts the WNBA in the national spotlight.
I mean, they got a problem, and if this team plays like it played last night, the WNBA's got a serious problem. Okay? Because let's say you were still keeping some casual viewers, you will lose them if they believe this team is not good.
Clark's absence is revealing just how delicate the league's current model really is. The WNBA doesn't just benefit from her skills, it depends on the star power she brings. Without it, things start to fall apart. Ticket sales dip, ratings decline, and even big names like Angel Reese don't create the same excitement without Clark in the mix. The league needs to figure out how to make every game compelling, not just the ones that feature its brightest star. But the issue isn't only about who's playing, it's also about how the WNBA is presenting its product. Even with talents like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, the league keeps hitting the same wall. Fans aren't turning up or tuning in like expected. A major factor is production quality. Take Reese's hyped showdown with the Dallas Wings. Fans expected a slick, high-quality broadcast, but got something that felt slapped together. Some games rely on local broadcasts instead of unified national coverage, and networks like ION have been criticized for things like returning late from commercials. That kind of inconsistency makes it hard for casual fans to take the product seriously. So far, star power hasn't been enough to fix the WNBA's attendance woes. What's the real solution?
So yeah, if these leagues are going to succeed, it's not the hardcore fan. They got to have the casual viewer. There's nothing to pull in the casual viewer.
Here's the truth. If the WNBA wants long-term success, it can't just rely on the hardcore base. It needs casual fans. And right now, there's little pulling those fans in. Clark's injury didn't just impact her team. It highlighted how dependent the league is on a handful of stars. Her absence exposed the lack of a broader fan engagement plan. The WNBA can't build real momentum if everything hinges on one or two players. It needs to rethink its strategy, improve its marketing, and give fans reasons to stay invested even when big names aren't on the court. After seeing $20 tickets and empty seats, ask yourself, can the WNBA truly grow beyond just the hype?